I met Dan almost 20 years ago, both working at Arlington Park. We knew each other for about 3 years before we went out one night after work with some colleagues.
The thing I remember most is that she was smart, intelligent, independent. I suppose that's the biggest thing that attracted me to her.
A few years after we were married, we decided to start trying for a family. We did have some challenges. We were able to get pregnant pretty easily, but we weren't able to keep the pregnancies, and we had 4 miscarriages.
At some point we decided, okay, we're not going to try anymore.
This isn't the plan.
This is not the plan for us.
We had always talked about wanting to have a biological child of our own as well as adoption. So actually some of the challenges really spurred us on and pushed us to look into how to become foster parents. There's a lot of steps to the process to become foster parents, but in our experience with Shelter, they made it easy, and we both agreed that if a kid came to us for just a short time, then that was the time we were supposed to have with them to make an impact in their life.
We took the classes, we were trained, ready
We
to
have
go.
a licensed parent.
Yeah, that's what we always joke about.
Kalia came to Shelter shortly after she was born. Her birth mom had issues with substance abuse and mental illness and was unable to provide the care that Kalia needed as a baby. The relative placement did not work out. Unfortunately, there was some abuse that was going on in the home. So Kalia bounced around from a couple different foster homes, different placements. She was exhibiting extreme behavioral issues that her foster families couldn't handle. She was traumatized. Shortly after Christmas, we had gotten notice that we needed to remove Kalia from the previous placement. We went there to pick Kalia up. All her stuff was waiting in bags by the front door, down to the Christmas ornaments that were on the tree. I had to explain to her in the car ride where we were going and why, and that's extremely difficult to put in words to a 4-year-old why you're being removed again. So that was hard.
We got a call on December 30th from Shelter about a little girl who'd been through quite a bit. I called Dan. Dan was working, and I said, well, we've got this call and there's this little girl, and I will never forget it because Dan said, this is what we signed up for. And he never questioned if we should do it or not. So we called back and said, yes, we'll take her.
She was quiet in the car, and it's because she was scared. All I could think was, please let this work out. Please let this be the home.
At about noon, the doorbell rang, and there was Caitlin and Gina from Shelter with Kalia in the middle of a snowstorm. She was so brave. And I said, are you nervous? And she shook her head, yes. And I said, I am too. And then she just came over and hugged me. And that was, I feel like that was the beginning of our bond. I think we both knew right then that she wasn't leaving our house either.
She was ours.
She was ours. Do you remember what I said to you?
Yes.
Did I ask you? What did I ask you?
You said, are you nervous? And I said, yes. And you said, I am too.
Yep.
You've told me this story enough times that I can help you
Did
tell
you
it.
remember it? I'm surprised, Gretzky. The first 6 months were really tough with Kalia. It wasn't easy for her. There were sleepless nights. It was like having a newborn because she had a lot of challenges to overcome. We both agreed that she needed structure, consistency. She needed to know where the boundaries were. One of the things we were really lucky about is that Shelter and Caitlin were there to help us with whatever we needed. But they also made sure that, that we use the services that are available to foster kids.
There was an in-home therapist that came. They also had an outside therapist that they went to, allowing Kalia to work out some of the issues and traumas that she didn't know she had. And in doing so, they definitely saw a shift within the home.
What is that? He's got a baseball for an eye?
When Kalia came to us, she had 2 brothers and a sister who were also in the foster care system. They were close by, and we were able to spend a lot of time with them. But we had Kalia for more than a year before we found out that Kalia's birth mom was pregnant with Kareem while she was incarcerated.
We told Kalia, well, you're going to be a big sister, and your little brother is going to come tomorrow and live with us.
The next day, Caitlin showed up with a tiny, tiny little boy. My favorite picture is Kalia holding him because he was so little and she was still so little, but you could tell right away that they loved each other.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, jump!
During Kalia's time at the Tinteras, birth mom was not making progress. She was not having contact, participating in any recommended services, so we knew that the case was heading towards adoption.
I said the night before, that was the last night I had to tuck her in and wonder if she'd be ours forever. And not having to ask permission to make a decision for her that's in her best interest. We were able to really become her parents. What do you want everyone to know about you?
And I'm strong and that I can go through anything now. Because what I've been through has made me stronger through these past years.
You're tough, right? Like me.
Like me.
Kalia was really excited to talk to Kareem about the adoption because, you know, for her that is what adoption meant, was that she had a family. And that's why we're so, so grateful for all the help that we got from friends, from family, from shelter, to make sure that we could commit to forever. Hi, Kalia. How are you?
Good.
How's school going?
Good.
Good. You ready?
I want to see the baby.
You ready to see the baby?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go get
About a year ago, we moved about half a mile from the Tintera family, not on purpose, but that has made it a little easier to keep in touch. I've seen them through the lowest points of parenting these kids to the highest points, and to be involved in these things and to see a child where I've taken them out of to where they are today is indescribable. They're amazing people. Truly, they are.
Our lives changed on that New Year's Eve 6 years ago. We got 2 great kids. They mean everything to us. We would do anything for them. They've got an even bigger extended family that loves them. They're great kids. They're going to do great things in this world, and they've got a great support system.
All of the things that happen aren't going to go away. You know, the history is there. It's part of her life. It's part of our lives. But if we can give everyone the tools they need to deal with those, they can succeed and do amazing things, because it's love that matters and family that matters. And I think we're living proof of that.